Welcome back, everybody, to Healing You. Today, we are talking about the secret to healing trauma. I am your co-host, Anna Levin, and with us is our fabulous host, Gloria Lybecker. How are you?
Oh, hi, Anna. It's so good to see you.
You too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our subject today.
Yes, this is... I am very much looking forward to this subject because I want to really understand in a much deeper way what you do and demystify a little bit of this spiritual so-called work, that it's coming out in the world. Do you feel that? I feel that.
Yeah, we're on the cusp of it.
Yes.
We're into a different dimension, so to speak.
Yes. So the secret to healing you, to healing trauma. What is this secret? Can you tell us?
Well, the short version of that would be accompaniment. To have that felt sense that somebody really gets you right where you are in the moment, from deep inside. Mm-hmm. So it's that felt sense where you get gotten, is a way of saying it. And in that moment, it's like a magic that happens at a cellular level. And it actually scientifically does. When someone resonates, it's like, you know of an instrument that has strings.
Yes.
And one guitar is sitting on a stand and someone comes with another guitar and they strum this guitar. This one will actually start reverberating with the resonance because there's going to be a match there. Uh-huh. Well, that's one way of seeing how two people can come together. And when one is having an upset or a real sharp emotional experience, when someone can come and be close to them and connect with them at a heart level with their felt sense, with the sensations and the emotions and what are the needs that are alive, it activates us at a cellular level that it actually changes the sheath of our DNA. So we do have a transformation that happens.
That's wonderful.
We're able to be held right there.
Yes. And it speaks of what, quantum physicists, they have been speaking about this forever, but I feel like it's now more mainstream. The fact that everything is energy and we are energy. We are not these bodies and our bodies are under a microscope are energy. Yes. So that's wonderful. And I think the more consciously we hone in, because everybody can do it, right? Everybody has energy. Yeah.
Well, the beautiful thing about our human bodies is there's no plasticity. So we always have the capacity to heal. We always have the capacity to lay down new pathways that are life-serving and to be able to untangle any of the threads of our life experiences that are not life-serving, that got stuck within us energetically.
Yes. Yes. I was just remembering in our first episode, you were sharing with us how you suffered from trauma, and part of that trauma is not only the actual experience, but how you felt in the experience. And you were talking about like how you felt alone, and we don't have any tools at 14 in order to understand maturely what is happening or how to even navigate especially such huge trauma like you went through. So what a beautiful way to turn it around and really, because you understand the 360 of what trauma is. So now you can really embody being there for somebody else as they embark on healing, right?
Yeah. So another secret in that process is to slow time down. Just to slow down and be right where you are, to notice your breath and notice as you bring your attention to your body, where does your mind rest? And allow your body's wisdom to become known. Mm-hmm. And when we slow time down like that, it actually kind of magically expands and allows us to begin to see and feel what's been hidden in the past, what wasn't available to us. So like we have two different kinds of memory. We have explicit memory that's like right here and conscious. And we have implicit memory, which is like a big, deep sea. And in that sea, there might be like lots of sea serpents that we don't even know are there. Mm-hmm. And then something comes up and it stimulates that serpent to come up. We can slow down time to be with that experience.
Yes.
And it can actually have a metamorphosis.
Yes.
It becomes something, a gift for us.
Is this also why some people, because it has happened to me with trauma, that we suppress the memory and then all of a sudden something triggers it and you remember, you have the visual memory and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened to me.
Yeah. So what happens if we take our hand, get a little exercise, the brain in the palm of the hand from Daniel Siegel, that we have, this would be our brain stem. Mm-hmm. This is our limbic system. There'd be actually two. We have a right and left side. And then folded across is our prefrontal cortex. And so if you lift your fingers up and then you bring them back down, you notice that the middle two fingers here, that would be your middle prefrontal cortex, that when it touches everything anatomically, so it touches the brainstem, it connects everything. Mm-hmm. And that's where our social engagement system is going to be able to be and where we can have our explicit memory. But when we have trauma or we have alarmed aloneness experience, we flip our lids basically. We go into a sympathetic activation. And then we're going to have the blood either pump to our arms to fight, or it's going to pump down to our legs so we can run in order to survive whatever's happened. And then we're not going to have actually so much of our memory available to us. Uh-huh. If our body's taking over, it's going to conserve everything it can so we survive. And then if we feel trapped and there is no help, then we actually go further down into our dorsal vagal. So our body will just cascade us with all kinds of neurochemicals so that we don't feel the pain of that alarmed aloneness. And so with my trauma, there was a lot of it that I didn't know that I knew.
Yes.
But as you actually feel that place where it's safe, have you ever walked into a room and you just felt really at ease?
Yes.
And then there's other times you walk into a room and you're like, the hair stands up on the back of your neck.
Absolutely.
So we can listen to our body's wisdom.
Yes.
And when we really have that neuroception of safety, that's when that magic resonance can support us to really awaken.
Yeah.
And reclaim our sense of self.
And this is what you can help people with. And I know that and this is something that I love about you, that you tailor your programs. You really, tune into the person to see what's the best for them in their healing journey. But do you have like a parameter, like how long would it take for someone to release? And I know that sometimes we can't give like, oh yeah, it's going to be 3 months, but how quickly is it for us to shed some of these are deep things?
Yeah, and there's layers to it. There's many layers to healing. I will be on this journey for the rest of my life. I'm quite confident.
Yes.
In the different aspects of myself and freeing myself up to really live life on purpose. And in my experience, in 10 minutes, people can release things. They can begin to shed and release the entanglements that are bound up within them, those little neural nets. They can dissipate and start to flow again.
Yes, because what I would not want the audience to feel is that they have to, work with you for 3 years. That's like you said. I agree with you 100%. I'm in the same journey. We are always working on ourselves, always seeing patterns of behavior that were hidden, and there's onions, peels, and endless. However, the big chunk, sometimes those happen instantly, like really in 1 session, 2 sessions, 3 sessions. People can really gain a new perspective fairly quickly and start the healing process. And
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. They can reclaim those parts of themselves and they can begin to develop their capacity to welcome life more.
Yes.
And their window of welcome.
Yes. I think you touched on, when you speak about fear, I personally can relate to just living in fear and we don't even realize. And then we can get into the whole women aspect of living in fear constantly. And we don't even realize what that does to us, to our nervous system, to the way we make decisions, everything. Right. So what wonderful, much needed work. Can you speak to us about some of the methods that you use?
Yeah, one of them that I like to teach, and children pick up on it really quick, is I like to teach them that they have magic fingers. That when something comes up, so like if there was a sense of fear, to really notice where's that fear in your body, and then just to gently start to do these tapping points. And I tap along with them, and even acknowledging, even though I feel this fear in my body, right here, right now, I'm all right. And I just continue to tap and tap along with them, and they're noticing their body, they're noticing whatever comes up. And then I actually teach them how to begin to acknowledge that. So even though I feel this fear of being able to talk on the TV screen here, right here, right now, I'm still having fun. And even though I really like it when I'm able to be super authentic and transparent, just being able to name it, I can feel myself start to breathe a little deeper, and I can hear my voice actually become a little bit calmer. And so it just, what this does, this tapping, is it's tapping on our different meridian points. Mm-hmm. So whatever was kind of stuck, entangled in there with that fear energy, it's being acknowledged, just acknowledging how much I really like it when I feel calm, when there's a sense of connection and open-heartedness, and I just can't get being me wrong.
Yes.
And then I just check back in, and what do they notice now?
Yes.
And then continuing whatever layers come up, and we just move with wherever they are in the moment. So again, it's like that accompaniment and bringing in some warm empathy guesses and resonant language. And
I love it, because it's also, you are teaching people how to, like you said, everybody has two fingers. So guess what? The fingers are going with you, wherever you go. So, right?
There I am. Yep.
Yes. I think it's so important to empower people. The old model, I saw it more like, I'm a therapist and you are the client, and, there's this vertical relationship. And now I feel like, we can empower each other. We can give each other tools to be better, to heal ourselves and have a better understanding of ourselves, energetically speaking as well.
Yeah, we can partner with each other. We can be collaborative. We can live together in an abundant world. And it's right here, right now, that it begins.
Yes.
Beginning to develop our capacity to stay in the now.
Yes.
Instead of worrying about the past or worrying about the future.
Yes.
But to develop that.
And when we shed the trauma, right, that helps us stay in the now, right? Because otherwise it's in our head.
Right. Well, for me, the way that I like to frame that up is I don't want to leave any of the parts of me behind. So that's where the time travel empathy can come in, is slowing time down to where you can use even your active imagination and realize that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, and you can time travel, and I can go with you, and we can go back to whatever that moment was. We can notice what's happening in the body. We can make the whole environment safe because it was an environment that wasn't safe. And we really follow the body through the whole process. And as we do that, then we're able to have that accompaniment that we didn't have. So rather than shedding something, it's kind of like inviting that part to come home now. It doesn't need to stay stuck in that place any longer. And that's the beauty, is to watch people. You can see it through their face. You can see it through their throat, their shoulders. Their whole body lets you know
yes,
they're being welcomed home.
Yes, I love it. I mean, that speaks, I have goosebumps all over, because that speaks really of the love that we have inside of us, as opposed to the typical, I was a high school teacher long ago, and I heard so many educators say to the kids, like, toughen up, don't cry. Same with parents. And I was always like, no, that's not the right thing to do. You know what? Why are we suppressed? Or even me, when I'm very sensitive, when I was little, it's like, don't cry. And nobody means ill, no, it has an ill feeling towards, but it's what we think is the right thing to do. But your message is the opposite. It's like, no, let's just bring it back, acknowledge it, heal it, so that you can be more of yourself, more whole.
Right. Well, we slow it down so we can begin to learn how to love ourselves. Mm-hmm. We can bring that energy in, and we do need accompaniment that's warm and that we trust to help us to discover that we are all right.
Yes.
That we can't get it wrong, and that we make sense, that no wonder we had the experience. No wonder we had these patterns. No wonder we would get scared or angry, or go into panic.
Yes.
Because as human beings, we're very, very vulnerable when we're little. And we need that tenderness, that exquisite gentleness. And we need the precision of care that can support us to grow and to become who we really are.
Yes, absolutely.
Get that wrong.
Yes, I think that's a biggie. The whole feeling that there's something wrong, or we did something wrong, or all that just adds fuel to the fire. So I love this approach. What about, I know you mentioned before releasing contracts, but can you explain a little bit more what that is?
Yeah, well, most of the time it's when we're really little, but it can also be the times like an hour ago if we get in that place where we flip our lid, right? Something's happening in our environment that it's more than our system can tolerate, that it can even handle. Then we go into that implicit place. The hippocampus, the part of the limbic system, it's our time stamper. And when it goes off, then we don't know that we don't know. But the contracts would be something like, when I was a little girl, one of the contracts that I made is that I would not allow myself to be seen like I am today, because I needed to be really small to stay safe, because otherwise I wouldn't survive. I believed I would die. And so there was a very strong contract, and I didn't even know I had it. And how it would show up in my life is if someone came in and they were very assertive,
yes,
I would become very meek. And it was just automatic. And until I was able to recognize that pattern, and then I could slow everything down, I could begin to notice what I was doing. And so there's a process you can go through, but it's rather formal. But it would be like, I, Gloria May Craig, which was my maiden name, solemnly swear to my essential self that I will stay small, and I will be silent, and I will not say a word, no matter what happens to me, in order to survive. In order to be able to live. And I would notice then what happens in my body as I say that, and just like at the time my throat would tighten up and my stomach would clench and I'd kind of go into a little collapse. And as that rests, it's just, I don't have to have that move, but just to be with it and name it. And I'd shift my body a little bit to the other side. Hold on. And then I would invite myself to just like step now into my essential self. For me, that's my spirit, higher self. And then I just noticed, I was like, did I hear that contract that little Gloria made? I'm like, yeah, I did hear that. And that makes sense. I mean, that was really, really brilliant, to do that when you're 3 or 4 years old. Because you survived. And, it's not such a great contract to keep now.
Right.
And so I release you from that contract. I revoke that vow. And instead, I give you my blessing. I give you my blessing. You have the freedom to shine. You have the freedom to feel all of your emotions and to have all of your circuitry light up and support you. You don't have to diminish yourself any further. You get to come out and play instead of be frozen and stuck in fear.
Yes, I love it.
In order to create community. Others to do that. And then noticing what happens in the body. And for me, then it's like I could just feel all of my skin tingle.
Yes.
There's a felt sense of this shift, and then it's new, and then it's like this part gets to start to explore.
Yes. And even if people, because of course you've been doing this for a long time, but sometimes when we just start to dive into healing our trauma, we're very shut down sometimes. We're not vulnerable. We can't feel that much. So what would you
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then there's no words. Those are very common. And so it's just, even in those, especially in those places where there's no words and it just feels shut down, to know that you're not alone, to have another being be with you.
Yes.
That in itself begins to change your experience.
Yes.
And we can take those little baby steps. We do not need to be in a hurry.
Right.
It's not about you completing the race. It's not a race.
Right.
Enjoy the journey and notice the pebbles in the road and the leaves in the trees.
Yes. Yes.
And experience the moments, each one.
Yes.
Because there is a gift there when we can slow down to see it.
Yes, I love it. You're reminding me of the importance of having compassion for all parts of ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I think what trauma does and fear does is we become adults and we become harsh. We're numb, we're closed up.
Yeah, or we become rigid.
Yeah.
When we have that experience, we're kind of leaving our body behind. We've shut off because we don't want to feel that pain, and we think that it's so enormous that it'll just take over and we'll never be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But when we have the courage to begin to ride the edge of that wave of emotion with accompaniment,
yes,
we begin to discover that it's possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the freedom that comes with that, right?
Total freedom.
And the joy that comes with that.
There is a joy.
Oh, my goodness.
It's true, though, however we went into our trauma is the way that we come back. But the fact is, we can come back. It is possible.
Yes.
And there is support available.
Yes. I had a few years ago, approximately 6 years ago, I felt like I was surviving. And I was like, wait a minute. I want to know what living is like, because we don't even realize that we're in survival mode, right?
No, we don't. We just think that's the way it is.
Yes. Yeah. So if someone that is listening to your show feels that way, what's the first step? What would you recommend to them?
Oh, the first step is to reach out to somebody that you trust. To be willing to risk that you really matter. And that your voice matters in the world, because each voice is unique. And each voice is here with a divine purpose. And to trust that it's true. Yeah.
Yes, that's beautiful. And how can they get in contact with you? Like you can help them, right? I mean, they can have a session with you, like a free session, introductory session.
Yeah, they can come to healingyouShow.com, and on there's a place where they can click and get on my calendar, and they can get a free 30-minute session where we can explore and get to know each other and to see what exactly is it they're needing support with and what might that look like for them to create their very own unique program that supports them.
Yes. I would encourage everybody that is listening to contact Gloria and have the courage to reach out, and your life will transform. I'm on this path. Gloria's on this path. So we speak from experience. And so what better person than you to hold the space and really with all your knowledge and your compassion and your experience. I mean, that's what I would want.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to welcome anybody to reach out and get to have a little mini session to experience what's possible.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, this is so yummy, so exciting, so uplifting. I leave this conversation with a lot of love in my heart, Gloria. Thank you so much.
It was a beautiful exploration for me too.
Awesome. We'll see you in the next show.
Okay. Bye-bye.